So I picked up this cute little guy at the hardware store for $50. And in all appearances, the engine was locked up. It's only 4 years old. So I paid $50 for it. I brought it home and I put a wrench on the top of the engine on the nut and slowly worked it and it came free. Well, the mechanic told me that the customer said that the dipstick, which is on a cap, had rattled loose and come off, and then he ran it out of oil accidentally while he was mowing. And I don't believe that, and here's the reason why. All of this was just caked with oil and dirt. And you can tell it had been there for a while, so it didn't happen in one day. So I pulled the engine off, which is for the most part on top of this. I guess for all the part it's on top of here. And I'll show you what happened. So the piston was not seized, but the crankshaft, you can see that dark spot down there in the hole. It ran out of oil, which the oil is the bearing for the crankshaft and this aluminum housing. So your oil runs in between there, in between those two, and that's your bearing. Well, without oil in there, it just rubbed up against that aluminum and kind of boogered it up. I took some 320 grit emery cloth and sanded it, and it didn't mess it up all the way through the disc from the top to the bottom. It was just on the inside, on the engine side, and then not even all the way around, just like a half moon type of a deal. And then on the crankshaft, down on this side was scuffed. But I took emery cloth to it and it should be fine. Well, the rings are also kind of rounded. They're not crisp edge like they should be, so I ordered some rings. So I have rings, seals, and gaskets coming for this, which is, I think, between $75 and $80 with shipping and tax, plus the $50 that I paid for it. Being this thing's only 4 years old, I should do all right. I'm going to take it out to the auction. I would normally wait for spring when the price of riders are going good, but I want some fast cash, so I'll take it out to the auction and get her sold there. But these little rear engine lawnmowers are so neat. I love them, and they turn sharp. You can go right around a tree with them just about. Yeah, the rest of the engine is down there, along with the seat. And so I got this thing hoisted up there, from there, and I can't do anything else because I got this in the way. Today is Tuesday, November 15th, and I should be getting the parts on Friday. And I don't know when I'll be able to get the work done. So that's what's going on here. I was trying to make some room. I'm going to take these. I got 2 pressure washers. I'm going to take them down in the basement to store them for the winter. I did treat them with the Briggs & Stratton pump saver. Easy peasy if you've not ever used that. It screws right into your inlet, and all you do is depress the button on the can, and within a second or two it shoots out the outlet, and then it's done. That's all you gotta do. Done. Winterized. So I'll take that and the other one down in the basement. This will be out of here tomorrow. Well, it's about a month later. I got my parts in, but because of the holidays, I don't know when I got them, and I don't know in relation to Thanksgiving, but I couldn't just start working on this again because I had other stuff going on. Oh, deer. I was processing deer. No, I didn't shoot any, but I did get 3, not with my car either. There's a farmer up in a neighboring town who had harvest permits, and they can go and blast X amount of deer, and he's just giving them away. So I went and got 3. Now I got that all taken care of. Went to Illinois and got a bunch of stuff again, so that will be coming up on a different video, but or maybe that one will come up first. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see. But right now, I'm back on this engine. So I started with this one, and I don't know what I was thinking now. The top of this seal needs to be flush with the top of this rim, and for some reason I just sunk it all the way down till it stopped. This is the top of the engine where the flywheel sits right here, so I don't think that's going to be a problem, but you pretty much have to destroy those to get them out, so I ain't touching it. This one I'd have to flip it over, but it's in there and I made it flush. So now I've got to put the rings on the piston. I got the new rings put on, and the mechanic told me that he thought that these were wore because they're rounded, and the new ones are the same way, so I probably didn't even need to buy a piston set, but I did. It's on. I don't have a piston ring compressor, so I had to be very carefully and just do one little bit at a time and eased it on in there. I got the arrow pointed to the exhaust side, and now I guess I'm ready to put the head on. No. I need to put the crankshaft in first. That's what I will do next. Okay, I got this thingy and this thingy, dots lined up there. This thingy cam, the dots lined up there. So you've seen it, it's lined up. Now I am ready for the gasket, but I'm going to go have a cup of coffee and just reflect. Making more headway. Got all that buttoned up, adjusted the valves, hopefully they're right. Flywheel's on, got the carburetor and all that assembly on. All the linkage there, and that tube's hooked up. Trying to figure this out. I think I got it right here. Somehow it's got to go. Somehow it goes on there, I think. I didn't take any pictures of this shield and this shield, so I'm not doing very good remembering. I'm pretty sure it's right because that's got to go in there. All back together. I have to go and pick up a new oil filter. I won't put the air filter back on until I've got it started. Of course, I got to put the top cover on, but I'll do all that later. Right now, I'm going to head down there and pick up that filter. Well, I procrastinated on this today because I got to the place where I had to figure out all of the bracketry, like that thing there. It's got a bar that goes across, and then there's another thingamajigger. I don't know what it is. That spring there, it took me a while to figure out that it went there because there was something in the way of that. I couldn't see it. There, put this back on, that back on, these levers back on, and then there's this plug. You can just see it right there. I could not figure out for the life of me where that goes. Pondered on it for quite a while, and that goes right there. So all I have left is to put the deck under there, put the wheels on, put that battery in there. I've got some oil in the engine. I wanted to do that straight away so that I didn't go cranking on it and forget to put oil in. Put a new filter on it. So I don't know how much this takes, and I can't check it right now. As you can see, it's on an angle. I got all my batteries -1 now because it's, you know, over there. Charging in parallel. So, you know, that's good. And let me tell you about this chainsaw. Gentleman went into the hardware store and bought it brand spanking new. Brand new. And he went home and died. I don't know who it was, but his wife gave this to one of the mechanics, and then he sold it to me for $180. It's a $350 saw. He put some gas in it for me, the mechanic, and he tuned it, and then we dumped the gas out and ran it out. I put it on their shelf for sale, and then they got a whole bunch of brand new saws in, and you know, it's when there's not very many saws on the shelf, I do pretty good, but the warranty is void because it's in the deceased person's name. So that's going to be kind of a hard ticket to sell. Brandon didn't even have bar oil in it yet. I've got $280 on it, and I think that's a pretty good deal, but I just can't sell it. So it's Friday night, and I was going to just quit for the night. I went to the Craftsman, come home and ate, and then you know what? I feel like trying to get that deck hooked up. The rest of this is going to be easy. I just need to find out where this routes to. I don't quite know yet. I gotta get the deck underneath there and figure it out. It probably comes around this side and hooks to the deck, but you know. Well, enough jaw jacking. I'm gonna get to work here. Maybe we'll get this thing fired up tonight yet. Update. All I have left is this cable for the deck. That's not where it goes. I'm trying to figure that out. I think it goes in front of the engine. Looks like it's about the only place that it will fit unless it goes underneath, but boy, I just don't remember. And then of course I gotta get the battery in and then check the oil. And that's it. I am so close to starting this thing. All I gotta do is get this hooked up, but I'm having a hard time getting that into the keeper. All right, 99.999999% done. Everything's in except for that spring right there. It has to go through that hole right there. I cannot for the life of me get that in there. That is one tough spring. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to try to start this thing. After I check the oil, of course. Well, this is kind of a awkward. I don't have a tripod-y thingy, Slow, fast. Why, well, we got nothing. Alright, I don't know why it won't start. The battery has 12 plus volts. I got the spring on there. I had the lever like it was engaged, so once I move the lever back up, I got the pedal down. It's in neutral. I don't know what else we got going on. That switch should have been engaged. Everything's plugged in. Nope. There's a switch down there that ain't plugged in. Okay, so I plugged in that plugger in her. Still nothing. I flipped the seat up and pushed that down with my thumb. Still nothing. The only thing I can think of is a fuse somewhere, which I probably have to take that cover back off. Great. I don't know what else. Let's see what the starting instructions are. I can't read it from here. I will probably get back to it tomorrow because I just need to go in. Okay, it is finally done. I struggled with this thing. No matter what I did and turn that key, I could not get the thing to even so much as click. I put a new solenoid on there and I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I put a new ignition switch on there and I don't think there was anything wrong with that. So I'm going to put the old ones back in. This machine, like I say, is only 4 years old. So after putting those two things in there, I didn't have the seat on, which is okay because it doesn't have a switch on the bottom of the seat. The switch is right here and is activated by this rubber button. So I had that off because it was in the way of getting into other things. And I would push down on that button with the pedal locked in the down position. Nothing. Couldn't figure out for the life of me what was going on. And then I realized that I didn't have this on here, and there is a switch. Just see that gray piece there. There's a switch there. I pulled that, unplugged the switch, and it was saturated with oil. I don't know if I mentioned it previously, but what happened to this engine was the person somehow lost the O-ring that's under this cap. And so oil kept splashing out of that tube. It was all over the place. Dripped down on that switch. This one was saturated with oil. I cleaned that out, sprayed them out with electronic cleaner, contact cleaner. So I put this on and activated that switch. I thought for sure it's going to start now. Push that down with my thumb. Nothing. I don't know what else to do, and I bolted the seat back on. I sat down on it, and I thought I don't know what else to do. I turned the key and it turned over. Again, it doesn't have anything to do with this seat. Bolted on here and there. There's no electrical contacts on the seat whatsoever. That switch. But anyway, so I did a lot of things all at once, sorta. Anyway, it works. It started up. I ran it for a little bit. Seemed to work fine. I engaged the blade, and you could hear it start to engage through here. But as soon as I got down to here, it would cut the motor off. So I was talking with the mechanic, and he said, you know, just let it run a while. Sometimes when these things sit, goofy things happen. So I got on it. Later on, after letting it run a little bit, it engages fine. So whatever the problem was wasn't much of a problem. So this thing is in business. I let it run today for a good half hour on low idle, just let it run, just to be sure that the engine was going to keep running. And so far so good. I think I'm going to prop the camera up here and we'll start it. Maybe I can just hold it and start it, don't you know? Oh, huh? What the deal? There we go. Didn't have it all the way down. So, anyone want to buy a mower? The mechanic says she'll be able to get $500 for it. So the next one out there that I bring in, I'm going to video everything, take plenty of pictures. I get to working on something and I say, you know what, this thing is, I can remember that, surely. Well, I don't count on it being a month getting parts. And so I had the engine tore down, and that's the easy part for me. You could take that engine apart 100%, throw all the nuts and bolts and screws and parts into a box and shake it around, and I could put it back together. It's that stuff underneath, all those brackets, and I don't like it. But it's back together, and I didn't lose any parts. The only thing is someone previously stripped out these two screw holes. Right there and right there in the plastic. And it actually split, made a split on the, you know, where the screw goes in. So I put a little bit of JB weld in there, the quick setting stuff, and put that cover on and put the screws in, and I got them basically finger tight, and that's good. You can get away with not even having this cover on there. It's more decorative than anything, but because it's just this piece here. Nice looking mower. This is perfect for someone who has a house in town with a small yard. The turning radius is just unbelievable. This thing turns really sharp. And you know, I fix these things. I want to keep every single one of them. Unless they're a problem child, then I want to get rid of them as fast as possible. But yeah, so far so good. All right, well then, we'll see you on the next one.